influencing popular culture, politics, and everything in between. The local station takes you ringside as we discuss the crazy world that is professional wrestling. This is Going Ringside with the local station.
The worst possible thing that the boys in our business never do is stab a guy in the back, especially a guy who's been your partner for years. And that's what Shawn did. To this day, I still think he's POS for doing that.
That's Brutus, the Barber Beefcake, who put him on the screen. That's our guest this week. Welcome to Going Ringside. I'm your host, Scott Johnson. As always, do us a favor. Go to our YouTube channel if you're watching it maybe here right now, youtube.com/@goingringside. Click that subscribe button. We need your help to keep growing this project and bring you these big interviews. And this guy is a big interview because Brutus Beefcake has been in the headlines a lot lately in light of the death of Hulk Hogan. So I want to point out a few things. First, I interviewed Brutus shortly before the death of the Hulkster. We talk about the Hulkster a little in this interview, and of course Shawn Michaels, as you heard there, and some other subjects. So I want to put that out there. But the Hogan dynamic has been huge for Brutus Beefcake. Brutus, Brother Brudi, Ed Leslie is his real name, was the long-time, as far as we knew, best friend of Hulk Hogan. They were very close for many, 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 many years, got into the business together. They always worked together. They were like that for many years. And then there was a falling out, which we've discussed the last time we had Brutus on. And they haven't spoken in years to our knowledge. So since Hogan died, there has been a lot of headlines out there, particularly in wrestling media, about Brutus Beefcake with respect to the Hogan family. I'm not going to report those here because a lot of it's gossip, a lot of it's he said, she said. I don't want this to be wrong in 2 weeks and the information is not accurate. The only thing I want to report to you are these quotes from Brutus Beefcake that he gave to TMZ Sports shortly after the death of the Hulkster, and I want to read them to you now. I was going to try to go to his house a couple days ago. My wife said, just go over there. And I was thinking, oh my God, but if I go to the house and they say, no, you can't come in, it would have crushed me. So I didn't. And now I wish maybe that I had tried to get in and tried to get to see him before he passed. Another quote, I love you, brother, you know, and we are truly friends to the end. I know his family and mine were close for many years, and I wish the best for them. I know they're having a horrible, difficult time, and I just want to say to them, keep your chins up, and he could have wanted us to fight on and move forward. He would have wanted us to fight on and move forward. So those are the quotes that he gave in an interview following the death of the Hulkster. There's more out there, not going to get into it here. I mean, you can do your own online research if you want to know more about the details of Brother Brutus. Brother Brudi, I think, as they called him back in the day. But he has been affiliated. He's been the commissioner for several years now with Boca Raton Championship Wrestling, friend of the show. And I ran into Brutus at River City Wrestling Con, and we sat down and had a nice conversation. But the conversation, we do touch on Hogan. You want to hear what he says. But it takes a quick turn when I bring up Shawn Michaels. So you want to hear that as well. So without further ado, let's get to it. Here is Brutus the Barber Beefcake. Well, we're joined now by a guy we've had on a few times on the show who has the most dangerous thing in all of wrestling, Brutus the Barber Beefcake. Brutus, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Enjoying the River City Con here, having a blast.
So how's Boca Raton Championship Wrestling? You still the commissioner down there?
I am, and we're having we're represented here, and my guys will be here in a few minutes. And we got a great thing going down here. Boca Raton Championship Wrestling has some of the greatest talent in this country, actually. We draw from TNA, A&E, AEW, all the other ones. There's so many different ones.
There's so many letters out there.
We got a giant who's 7 foot. We got guys, really good guys. Macklin, the kid that works for TNA, who's a veteran and stuff. We got a lot of talent. We got a good thing going. Highly recommend it. If people want to have a real good experience, to bring the kids, all up on the up and up, no blood, no cursing, a good wrestling show.
I wanted to drill down on a specific match you were involved in, maybe near the peak of your career, the SummerSlam tag match, you and Hulk versus Randy and Zeus. What was it like? when they decided to bring in Zeus, who wasn't a wrestler. Do you recall that at all?
You could say that. Zeus has been a friend of mine for many, many years. Worked with him many times. It was definitely an undertaking. Taking a guy who's 6'8", 330 pounds, and never wrestled, not anything, not amateur wrestling, nothing, knows nothing about wrestling, but take him in the ring. We had one day to work with him, and we worked out certain things that would be easiest for him to do, and we took him in the ring and a pay-per-view, no stops, no do-overs, no nothing. And we had a great rapport with the guy. He trusted me. He trusted Hulk. And so he was able to get in there, and because he's used to be doing this in front of a camera, okay? It's a big difference when you're in front of 50,000 people, and for him, that was something new. So we had to try to keep him calm. But not only did he do such a fantastic job in SummerSlam '89, that we brought the match back on Christmas in Nashville in a cage and had another match.
Was the goal to have Randy do a lot of the work for that team?
Well, obviously, yeah. He's going to do what, we get Tiny in there for certain things and then get him out and Macho Man, doing all the complicated stuff. But, it worked out perfectly.
Was it important to Vince to put Zeus over because of the movie?
That's kind of was the idea. They had the movie and that stuff, make everything work, pieces of the puzzle going together.
What was it like for you guys when Vince and Hulk start going into the non-wrestling route? This was like a venture into movies. Was this, for all the guys in the back, was this kind of weird to see happen?
No, the movie's something Vince has always been doing. What we didn't like to see is him doing a bodybuilding federation, doing a football team. He's given money. You got guys that have given their whole lives to get their bodies to the company. They're crippled, they're broke, and he's taken millions of dollars that could be given our people to these strangers and the people that makes absolutely no sense to anybody. And that was a tough one to swallow. It's got a lot of heat from a lot of people for doing all that.
A lot of guys didn't like when he did the WBF, the bodybuilding.
Oh, why would they? These guys are taking money away from us. The guys are going to work getting a $500 payoff, and then these guys are on contracts getting $5,000 a week. Are you kidding me? It's upset? Yeah, they wanted to go shoot them all.
One thing you talked to me about was when the Rockers broke up in front of you, and Marty was a close friend of yours, and you don't think he got a fair shake.
It's not whether I think he got a fair shake or not. He got murdered. Shawn Michaels and Vince plotted and planned a whole schemed out all this stuff. Marty was partners with him for years. For him, for Shawn to do this behind Marty's back, not tell him a single word about what was going to happen. Basically, Marty was left hanging, nothing. Was a horrible travesty. The worst possible thing that the boys in our business never do is stab a guy in the back, especially a guy who's been your partner for years. And that's what Shawn did. To this day, I still think he's POS for doing that.
Were you surprised he was involved with the stuff with Brett years after that?
What's that now?
Were you surprised Shawn was involved in the stuff with Brett years later?
Not at all. That's, once a sneak, always a sneak. He was sneaky and doing that to Marty, and then he's sneaky doing stuff with Brett, and only out for himself. Not a team player, not a guy that helps other guys and works together. For everybody's benefit. It's just the only thing he cared about was getting ahead.
Did you like it when you went to WCW?
I didn't really go to WCW. I quit WWF to make TV shows and movies. And they were at the studios and all around us all the time. And they wanted, eventually they just kept bugging us until you know, we said, okay, yeah, we'll come and do some stuff. That's basically the long and short of it.
Have you kept in touch with Hulk at all, or still not?
No.
No. And anyone you keep in touch with? Like Duggan, I think you keep in acts on?
Yeah, well, Duggan, Jake, DiBiase. My wife books some of the guys, just a certain few. You know, Tugboat I see, Nasty Boys I see, Tatanka I see. Once in a while, Greg Valentine maybe.
And how was Greg working with? Was he a good partner in all those years?
He was. He was a great partner.
And you were younger than him, if I remember right. Was he kind of leading you, or were you guys the same age? I don't remember.
No, he's 7 years older than me. He's a mid-70s now.
Okay. And was he kind of a good teacher in that regard, to be teamed with him?
Pardon me. Yeah, Greg is a second-generation wrestler. His father wrestled, Johnny Valentine, and yeah, he was not very knowledgeable. We helped each other. You know, I had a completely different style and did different things than him. So we took and mixed those two up together. And what came out, you know, might have looked ugly in a bowl, but when it hit the pan, whoosh, it looked perfect.
Brutus Beefcake, thank you so much for joining us again. And one of my favorite Brutus Beefcake stories for our show was back when we started this show, just brand new, trying to get some traction, trying to get some people, and we were doing a live show at an event, and I was struggling to fill time. I had to fill like an hour. Well, Brutus Beefcake walks over, plots down, and takes over the show. It was wonderful. It was tremendous. I wanted to ask about the Shawn stuff because last time we talked, I kind of went there, but he didn't say a lot. I knew there was more there, so I wanted to ask. And the Hogan answer, he just said no. If you were there in person like I was when I was asking that question, I could get the sense I'm probably not going to push on this because obviously this was before Hulk died, but I decided not to push there. But yeah, so Brutus has had an interesting career. He's been his own star. He's been linked to the biggest stars of all time, and I was glad we were able to sit down with him again. Once again, he's with Boca Raton Championship Wrestling down there in South Florida. He is their ongoing commish. So thank you for watching this episode of Going Ringside. I'm your host, Scott Johnson. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'll see you back here next time.
This has been Going Ringside with the local station, brought to you every Wednesday on your favorite podcast player, on News4 Jax Plus, as well as the News4 Jax YouTube channel.